The thing is, too, is, because the tango is really deep for me, under the skin, It's like people dance on the surface, okay, and they dance above the surface. But when you get under the surface, that's when you really find something. And that might only happen once. You might be in Buenos Aires for a month, might only happen once in that whole time. Might happen several times, You don't know. And that's what makes me keep coming back to find that dance.
The tango bliss.
Yeah. So that's why tango is different from any other dance for me. It's got all this other deepness. It's life. It is life,
Is that subject to the music? Does different orchestras, at different time periods, offer a different layer of deepness?
Yes, for me, I like the music from around 1935. 1935. Well, just give or take, up to about 44, 45, 44. Because the music changed after that. The orchestras didn't change. Well, they changed. They got bigger, and they're not as good for me.
Too romantic?
No, it got very loud and more romantic in that short period, from 35 to 44. And I went to a talk one time with a DJ in BA, a very well-known DJ, and it was only his personal thought. He said that, the best music, and I thought pretty much the same, was around about very early music was very beaty, and it didn't have a lot in it, but it got better around about 35 through to about 44, the best era to dance for close embrace. He said after 1945, throw it away. I'll probably put someone's nose out of joint here. And I think he was right, The only one you didn't throw away was Desali, who played into the 50s. Some of that was still very nice to dance to, Pugliese, he talked a wee bit about Pugliese. So that was his interpretation. He said that he might get told off by saying this, but I think he was right, and I've always believed
would you
that.
put it the same across all forms of tango, or like you have milonga and tango and waltz, and there are slight differences there.
Yeah, some of the early milongas, I mean, I dance a lot of milonga.
You dance a lot of milonga.
I like milonga, but I would, if I get up and dance it at some stage, I do like the slow milongas. So they could be pre-35. There's no cut-off point, really. So there are some early milongas which are really nice, very nice to dance to. You don't have to rush them because they're slower, and you can do the traspié easier with the slow milonga. Fast milongas only really want to dance on the beat, really. I mean, you can do the traspié, but it's as you come off the dance floor at the end of the tanda.
It's a lot of work.
So, that's what I would do if I danced milonga. I would take the earlier ones. Yeah, and slower so I can use the traspié as well. If I have to.
So because later on they got busier and faster.
Yeah, I mean there is traditional milongas which are busier and faster anyway. They're not so good to dance to, I don't think. That's only my preference.
And waltzes?
Waltzes, yeah. When I first started tango, I always liked waltz, straight away. I used to love waltz. The waltzes, there's some nice waltzes from 35 to 45, Some very earlier ones as well that I like, pre-35. So, there is a few. There's a bit of flexibility there. When I say about the music from 35 to 44, 45, it's I don't know. It just had that flavour, that melodic, romantic music, especially Fresedo. Very romantic music, Fresedo. They had everything there, and they all sort of come together at that time, which was fabulous. I would have loved to have been around and watched them live. I would. So some of the music when I started, I couldn't get into Biagi or Troilo or Pugliese. Pugliese is different from any other orchestra to dance to. Okay, so as I progressed, I got to love Biagi and Troilo. But it wasn't when you were beginning. All you wanted to hear was the beat. De Sarli was a good orchestra for beginning with, that very strong beat. Yeah.
But it also makes it quite dramatic.
Yeah, quite dramatic. Di Rienzo, see, everyone in the 40s loved to dance to Di Rienzo, because you can hear that beat, You can hear what you're dancing to. There's a beat there.
But Biagi kind of stems from the same era. So it's like, why would you separate those two?
I don't know. I just sort of couldn't get into Biagi at the time, but didn't really know enough about him because he was in the Di Rienzo Orchestra at one stage, and you can hear him on the piano, which was great. So, I couldn't get into that. But, as a progression thing, musically, I've become to love all those orchestras. Someone asked me, what's your favourite orchestra? I said, well, I haven't got a favourite orchestra. I can say, De Sarli, D'Agostino, De Mare, Lorenz, Tanturi, there's 7 or 8 that I love.
Would you then say that certain orchestras are more suitable to start with, as a beginner?
I think so, yeah. I think there is. They a lot of the beginners classes overseas, they play De Sarli. Well, they used to.
Yeah.
And I find it's very good to learn that you learn by listening to De Sarli for a starter.
There's clarity to it, of course.
Yeah.
And that's what puts Biagi probably on the other side of the spectrum, where it's a lot of busy.
Yeah, it's quite busy, and
and there's very specific rhythms in there.
Yeah. So the De Sarli, not to say it was simple music, but it is very nice to listen to and walk to, which you need when you're starting off, I think. Very calming. It's not beating away at you,
If you mix the idea of, milongas with cabeceos and different styles of music, would you select specific partners for different, for the milonga or the waltz or the...
Absolutely, yeah. Some dancers overseas will only have a particular partner to dance Di Rienzo with. They have another one for De Sarli, someone for waltz, So they have their own partners for that orchestra. The one that dances De Sarli with him might dance Di Rienzo with someone else, but he likes her when he hears De Sarli. He wants to dance with her, So, you do have particular partners for different orchestras. Well, you can.
Is that because someone doesn't know the steps? Or is it the energy? Or,
It might be the energy thing. Different timings in the music. You might use all the beats for Di Rienzo. You might want to use all the beats. You might want her to use all the beats by your energy, but she might not know that.
Like you said, like there might be someone there you wanted to dance with but didn't dance with. And one of the reasons might actually be that she had all those partners lined up for certain orchestras. And it's probably something to learn as a beginner as well, that certain people will have those partners.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
So if you understand that people have specific requirements for certain types of music, it makes sense to not try to dance rhythm on those.
Yeah. But those things you don't pick up
No, and
for a
that's-
long time.
Yeah,
You might never pick up on them, unless you're told, But it doesn't happen with everyone,
No.
Not all of us want a particular partner for a particular orchestra, but some of us do, because we dance better with that orchestra than we did with the other one,
Yep.
So yeah, there's all these other little things
but
that happen.
that is part of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When you're beginning, all you want to do is try and walk with the music, get to know the music and get the embrace and the connection right. You've got that right for a starter, then everything sort of can fall into place eventually, But you want to have a good embrace. That's the most important thing, and connection.
It is exciting to feel the energy of the floor.
Absolutely. Yeah. If without energy, your milonga's not very good.
No.
Without good music, it's not good, When I say good music, good traditional music.
Yeah.
For me. But, I watch people get up and dance to other music, and that's great, I mean, there's no set rules,
No, they aren't. But I think one of the attractions, and that's the beauty of the traditional music, that if you take Nuevo, for example, there's very few songs that feel like tango because they trap you on a beat, and the beat is very tightly dictated.
Yeah, and they're very long pieces,
Yeah.
Nuevo, So if you were trying to dance close embrace with a Nuevo piece of music, it's like, when's this going to end? You've lost a connection. That's what it feels like. It's a long time. But being open and being able to move to Nuevo music, it's great, I mean, it's all the same. The steps might be bigger, or they might be more dramatic, or it's all evolved. The stage people, their music, their style has evolved from the social dance floor, and the social dance floor has learnt from the people that do performances. They've all learnt from each other. It's all evolved from each other. There's no particular style that's better than another one. It's all structured from everyone. I mean, you dance to the beat or the melody or the singer, but you can also be another instrument in the dance, and you can see people dancing off the beat. They mightn't be able to hear the beat. Yeah, and you think, oh, he's not on the beat. He could be another instrument. That's what I say. He could be another instrument in the orchestra. So, hey, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not out of time. He looks out of time, but he is an instrument, without him knowing probably.
But that's the beauty, isn't it? That there are no right and wrongs.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
The beauty of the music is that it opens up improvisation because you're not stuck to the beat. So you can stick purely to the melody,
yes,
and ignore part of the rhythm almost, and only capture certain parts in the rhythm.
Yeah. That's where you want to pause. You can pause anywhere. There's certain places in the music to pause, better places in the music to pause, but it doesn't mean that you can't pause anywhere, The biggest thing is to be able to slow down. Slowing down is not easy, Slow on a slow walk or a slow movement, that's hard to get used to, But if you can do that, it's great. You don't want to keep all the time. You want to be able to, as you say, you've got these different layers: melody, voice, dance to the voice, the melody, and all this stuff in the music that you can dance to. So you can pause and leave some beats out and capture that piece, or capture that piece, because you know the music. You know what's sort of coming up on the music if you know the music.
You only learn it by listening.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But for a beginner, for example, quite often, especially if they come from things like other dances where ballroom or salsa or whatever, they quite often been taught, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
bang, beat, beat,
So
beat.
it's in their body. It's in their muscle memory to do that, in their body. And that's not easy to break, I wouldn't think. You've got to restructure because tango has a lower centre of gravity, okay? Whereas a ballroom dancer, ballroom dancers here, see? Here. They've got to put the centre of gravity here, down here, because that's where tango is. Yeah, and that's probably not easy to do, especially if you've been dancing those dances for a while.
And that's a very hard thing to learn.
Yeah, well, you're busy trying to walk and you're trying to listen to the music. You've got a lot when you're a beginner, you've got a lot to think of,
Yes.
and it's really too much, So, they say you got to put the music on and walk. But, sometimes you're better to listen to the music. Take the music home and listen to it. Even if you walked around at home on your own, I used to do a lot of that. That's how I got to know the orchestra. Always had tango music on. I don't now, so much. I still love it. But I used to make out I was, I hold the embrace like this and I was dancing on my own. And I did it for hours, I used to get caught. Someone knock on the door, see through the window, and here's me dancing around on my own, think I've gone mad. But it helped me, and listening to the music, getting to know it, and walking with it, and pausing at the end of the sentences,
How do you see the pausing? Because quite often, again, if you're beginning, you're dancing, so you want to move.
Yeah.
If I'm pausing, people feel they're supposed to do something. Even followers, when they begin, if you pause with them, they get nervous because they think they need to move. They need to do something.
Something's gone wrong. Yeah. Yeah. The pausing's very, very crucial, I think. The best way to try and learn how to pause is to listen. That traditional music that I was saying about from the 30s into the 40s, a lot of that music is structured on 8 beats, a sentence for me. Even waltzes, right? 8 beats, and at the end of the sentence, Biaggi will embellish with the piano, or something will embellish the end of the sentence. Time to pause. And that happens in this traditional music. A lot of it's structured around. I'm not a musician, but that's what I can hear, okay? 8 beats, a sentence. Sometimes it might be 16 beats, and that's fine. You can, at the end of the sentence, pause, okay? And then start again.
Are you counting the beats when you're dancing?
Well, you will be when you're beginning, but after a while, you can hear it. When it's going to be at the end of the sentence, And I liked, when I'm dancing, I do use the phrasing of the music, and I might end the sentence with a woman's cross. She ends in the cross at the end of the sentence. I'm using the music. Sometimes you might just miss a bit. I mean, hey, we all make mistakes, but it's nice to be able to phrase the music, and that takes a while to, you're counting, but after a while you can hear it. Then you can get your body to. You can capture. You might have to pause, carry the beat on, end in the sentence. So you can, when you pause, you're leaving some beats out to end the sentence. You see.
So do you structure that as a sequence?
Sometimes, yeah. I like to finish the sentence with her cross. I mean, that's me. Not all the time.
No.
Not all the time, but it's nice to be able to finish somewhere, and a cross, the woman's cross, is a good place to end a sentence.
What makes the cross so special for that?
Well, it's where you can, when you're finished in a cross, hey, you can pause there. You don't have to hurry and go off. You can go anywhere from a cross, cross system, parallel system. So end the sentence with a cross and then wait if you want to, Don't have to go end the sentence and the cross and then take off, It's nice. It's nice to use pausing for me. And for the follower, it's lovely. It's like, relax. We're not going all the time.
Well, like I said, relax. Do you adjust your breathing or her breathing? Do you use breathing together as a form of communication?
Yeah, they do say about breathing, don't they? And breathe,
Yeah.
You've got to be relaxed, try and relax, and you have a really good, it's being able to relax in the dances. It makes it flow, and it makes it very easy if you both relax and you both listen to the music. If you dance with someone that knows the music,
big difference.
It's a huge difference, So I say to the followers, get to know the music. Say to some of them, hey, who's this orchestra? Just out of curiosity, because each orchestra has got its own identity and its own way of playing. So you don't dance the same to each orchestra because you're not dancing. You're not dancing to the orchestras.
No.
You're just dancing the same to each orchestra. Can't. But, for me,
It's probably also a misconception quite often for followers. I think that they think they don't have to study the music because the leader will do that.
Yeah, I think they should be listening to the music for both roles. As I say, you get someone that knows the music, it's fantastic. It's like, it's easy. It flows better,
It also becomes much more a dialogue when you both know the music.
Yeah. It'd be like playing an instrument with someone else and you're connected to them.
Yeah.
And they're really getting you going, It's like the energy's flowing, same in the dance, If you've got someone not listening to the music and you're trying to do the music, it's like you're only 50-50, you're not 100-100, So, and it feels an effort. Yeah. So, get to know the music, both follower and leader.
If the follower knows the music as well,
yes,
she will probably more likely anticipate the pause you're leading into.
Yeah.
Than when they don't know the music, because then they will just want to walk on.
And, there's an opportunity, 50-50 opportunity to work with the music. So I put her into the cross or do something, or she's walking around me, she can use another timing to walk, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, in the walk. She can fit those beats in between the walk steps, So she can be very playful with the music. I could be very playful with the music as well. I try not to... because you know the music very well and you see people, in performances, it's different, but they overdo the music, And even in social dancing, someone both know the music, they overdo it for me. Use bits and pieces of it, but don't overdo it because it can get very busy. If you got a follower that using this music all the time, it's like, it's too much, You just pick bits out of it.
So there's an opening there for the follower to fill in certain gaps. You allow those gaps for her to...
Yeah, see, with the pause, if I pause and I do nothing, there's an opportunity for the follower to carry the music on. She can do something while we're there.
So you're not waiting. Dictating the pause.
Well, I lead. I lead the pause.
Lead the pause.
I lead the pause. Yeah. Then I don't have to do anything. I lead the pause. She can do something in the music if she's musical. If she doesn't, we don't do anything unless I do something, and then we're away, So it works. 50-50 if you both know the music and you've got time. This pause allows time for me to do something.
So it's not necessarily a full pause of doing nothing.
No. But you can, as you're moving in the beat, you can still do stuff. Still use those little extra beats or whatever in the walk. So it's not just in the pause; it can be just in the dancing.
Do you see the pause as a lead up to what comes after the pause?
Could be. Just depends on the music. Depends on what you want to take out of the music, You can do anything with the music. That's the beauty of tango as well. It's got all these things. The embrace, everything. It's why it's so complex, But you can do anything with the music. Anything you want, It's up to you. But if you know it, it's better. You know what's in it. Know what's coming up. Even if it's music that you haven't heard, but it's in, you haven't heard it before, but it could be in those years, and you haven't heard it before, pretty much the structure's there, so you don't get stuck. You can interpret that piece of music, even though you haven't really heard it.
So we should suggest, because of that, maybe listen to a wider range of orchestras, or go in depth in orchestra?
Both. Yeah, deep in the orchestras, and pretty much, I mean, you've got lots of stuff in there.
That's the challenge. There's so much that you have to start somewhere and try to stick to something.
Well, you stick to the rhythm, stick to the beat, and from that beat, there's other beats in between the beat, in between the step. There's other tit-tit-tit you can use, by syncopas. I listen to the voice when it stretches. So when it stretches, rubato, I think they call it, where the voice stretches, so you can stretch your step. You can do a side step by stretching it.
But it's quite difficult in the beginning.
Yeah, but those things as you get along, But for beginners, listen to the beat.
But just like you touched on the stretching, there's the difference between other dances where you really, as a couple, step together on the beat.
Yes.
Where we don't only listen to the actual rhythm of the step, but also the length of the step, which is a very hard thing to learn because it requires that grounding,
that energy.
To be able to push through with a longer stretch of energy.
Yes, yeah. It's something you don't pick up as a beginner, You can't. There's so much. You've got to get that base, the walking, the embrace, and all those things. Those base, have a good base, and then you start adding on from there. But because it's not music that you would have heard, it's not easy to get attached to it. Sometimes if you're musical and you haven't heard that sort of music, you might think, that's good. I like that, I don't know. It's funny. Tango's very complex, and it's got all these things in it, compared to other dances. It's life.
It's life.
It's life,
We'll stick to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
It's enjoyable.
Yep.